A reliable source revealed to Tom Henderson, one of the biggest gaming insiders, that the Crew 3 is in development under the name Project Orlando, and the map would still be in the United States, but not on the same map as the first two games. According to what Henderson was told, the Crew 3's map will be on the Hawaiian island of Oahu. This location is known to racing game fans because the first two Test Drive Unlimited games were in Hawaii. And this makes sense if we remember that one of the founders of Ivor Tower, Stefan Belli, once directed Test Drive Unlimited. So the Crew 3 would bring the spirit of the Test Drive franchise to the new game. As it is not a gigantic map like the one in the United States, but only one island, we can believe that the island would be redone in real scale, or something similar, very similar to what Test Drive will do in the new game that will be released in 2023, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, which will recreate the island of Hong Kong in full scale. Knowing this, then it is quite possible that the island of Oahu is in real scale and much more detailed than the current American map, which is beautiful, but has some areas that are completely empty. According to Henderson, some images that have not been leaked show the Motorfest logo on billboards, license plates, and in the loading menu. What stands out the most is that there is nowhere the logo of the Crew, giving the impression that they would abandon the Crew brand, which I think is very risky since the Crew has become a consolidated brand in the industry. My opinion is that there is a great possibility that Motorfest is a new concept to the game, as Motorflix became a few years ago. Maybe even the game is called the Crew Motorfest, instead of the Crew 3. This absence of the Crew logo is explained if we think that this Orlando project was initially a DLC for the Crew 2, not a new game, so use of the logo would be unnecessary. Another information from Henderson is that in the supposed images there is an option to import the cars from the Crew 2's garage. Happen in the Crew 3, even though it's an interesting idea. A very important piece of information for us is that the folks at Ivory Tower apparently weren't happy with the Crew 2, and that's why they've already started working on the total redesign for the Crew 3, which is a totally new game with a new direction form. And this is confirmed if we see that they have been working on updating the handling of some cars in the current game. In the update that brought the 60 frames per second, some old cars in the game had their handling reformulated. One of the things that I believe the people at Ivory Tower are disliking is the total change in the market. When the Crew 2 came out, it was supposed to be a 4-year-old game, with multiplayer, some great DLCs and then the new game, but in the middle of the way came the season system and the Crew 2 became a living game. The problem is that the game was not made for this. Changing the whole concept of a game once it's been released must be very complicated. They even did it well because the Crew 2 is a hit, but for the developers, it's a kind of Frankenstein. I believe that for the Crew 3 they have already developed the game to be a live game from the beginning, with new mechanics, new concept, and finally a totally new map, even if it is still in the United States. Finally, let's talk about the date of the Crew 3. According to rumors, that support for the Crew 2, bringing seasons and new vehicles, will last until July 2023. Thinking about the logic that both the Crew 1 and the Crew 2 were announced at E3 2013 and E3 2017 and released in the following years respectively, so, probably, the Crew 3 should be announced at E3 2023 and released in the first half of 2024, but this is just a logical analysis, there is still no certainty if it will be this way. But say in the comments, did you like the news of the Crew 3? For more videos and news, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bye.